Hey everybody, Midnight Axel here. Welcome to, well, a new video, in a new series. The game title might say Pokemon White, but as you can see on the new layout here, we're playing Pokemon Volt White here. I said at the end of Renegade Platinum we were gonna go back towards Drayano's roots, one of his more early projects. I'm not going. I would have done Sacred Gold and Storm Silver next. A game that is known for me to be one of my bogey game of the entire Pokemon series, where I have not only been Heart Gold and Soul Silver 3 times, or at least been Lance 3 times, and I've never been Red and Heart Gold Soul Silver. I've beaten him in Crystal, and I've beaten him in Gold, but I've never beaten him in Heart Gold Soul Silver. But regardless of the fact, with Drayano remaking Heart Gold and Sacred Gold and Storm Silver, I decided that I would go do the first Drayano ROM hack I ever played, which was Blaze Black and Volt White. Originally I did Blaze Black, so I'm gonna do Volt White for this. So, with that out of the way, there's a lot of changes, like with the previous Drayano ROM hack and Renegade Platinum we played. Volt White has a lot of changes, which I will try and go through every single change on and every major trainer that I can. With that aside, let's get started, shall we? Hi there, welcome to a new version of Unova, Blaze Black and Volt White. My name is Professor Juniper, everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. This hack is inhabited by every Pokemon currently in existence. Isn't that fabulous? Mutations to Pokemon have also been seen. A great number of Pokemon have something different about them. Pokemon have different types, abilities, stats, or movesets. It's practically an alternate universe. The differences don't end there. There are many things you may see. You might find stronger foes, different items, different evolutions. It makes for a fresh experience. That's why this hack exists. Well then, that's enough from me. Could you tell me about yourself? Are you a boy or a girl? Well, if you couldn't tell by my voice already, you know what gender I am. As much as I like the female trainer sprite in this one, there are only 2 female trainer sprites that I'll sometimes actively play in playthroughs. The one for Black 2 and White 2, and the one in X and Y. That aside, I usually don't pick the female character sprite just because, well, you know what gender I am. Regardless of that fact, we're picking the male trainer, obviously. Yep. And my name. Well, some of you may already know what my name is, but for those who don't, you'll see what my name is right now. That is my name. Before you start wondering what the heck kind of name is that, my name is Seamus. That is how it's pronounced. That is always how it will be pronounced. I know it seems weird because of the spelling, but trust me, that is how my name is said. Just deal with it, okay? Anyways. Name is Seamus? Yep. What a wonderful name. Well, I'm going to introduce you to 2 best friends. This is Charon. You can be a little difficult, but he's an honest person. And Bianca, she's a little flighty, but works very hard. And Professor Juniper, or Drayano in this case, because he's taking over Professor Juniper, thinks we have potential. So, that aside, during our journey, you'll meet many Pokemon and people with different personalities and points of view. I hope you'll find what's important to you in all these travels. That's right, befriend new people and Pokemon and grow as a person. That's the most important goal for your journey. Let's go visit the new world of Pokemon. Let's do this. Famous! I heard from Professor Juniper we can have a Pokemon? It's keeping Bianca. Am I a little late again? Sorry! Bianca, I've known you for 10 years. You have no sense of time. But seriously, today's the day we get a Pokemon from Professor Juniper. I know. Sorry, Hughes. Sorry, Sharon. So, where are the Pokemon? They were delivered to Seamus's house, so Seamus gets first pick. Naturally. The Pokemon are waiting for us inside that gift box. Okay, Seamus, you go first and take a peek at the gift box. I want to meet the Pokemon right now. Well, Sharon, you'll get to see what new Pokemon look like in a minute. But first settings, just for convenience. I'm gonna probably regret this at some point, but I'm gonna put the battle style to set. Mainly just because I want to challenge myself even more in this game. Anyways, that aside, just like the previous things, this game is on an emulator, so I can do a bunch of things, like drop it right here. So that way, just in case something happens, I can at least revert to the save state if the mail save fails. Now then, while I'm recording this, you're not going to see this, but as long as future me isn't an idiot, in the clear space in the layout, you'll see a new bio format where I'll actually show you what the Pokemon looks like and try and show off like some of the interesting facts about the Pokemon and things like that that will be useful for you to know during the game. So, without further ado, let's meet these new Pokemon, shall we? We open the gift box. You get a little note from Drayano here, so if you're ever curious about him, that's his YouTube channel link. I don't think it's changed since this time. The document files, I do have the document files, so that's where I'm getting all my information from. So if I have any info wrong, then blame Drayano for mistyping it. Anyways, we open the box, and there are the 3 starters. Let's go through them one by one, shall we? Starting things off, we've got Snivy here. Now, if you've played Pokemon Black and White before, or any of the newer Pokemon games, you've probably seen this starter at least once or twice. Whether it's a Giftmon or not is to be determined, but regardless of the fact, you've probably seen Snivy at least once. Some of you probably like this mon, some of you probably hate it, but me personally, I'm kind of in the middle on this one. In the right circumstances, Snivy can be great, but on the other hand, in the other games, the original Black and White included, the Snivy line was not as good as it was not as good. Mostly because its move pool was terrible. Its move pool was terrible, and people were trying to get around how its stats were balanced. But it can be a really good mon if you know what you're doing. Snivy itself hasn't received any major changes from the base game, believe it or not, except for 2 critical things. If you find a Snivy in the wild, there's a 50% chance it'll be holding the Miracle Seed, which boosts Grass-type moves. Another major thing is that Snivy can now potentially have the ability Contrary, its hidden ability from the next game, Black 2, White 2. Contrary will reverse any stat changes that happen to you, whether they're good or bad. For example, if you get hit by a Leer, instead of lowering your defense, it'll raise it instead. And vice versa. If you try buffing yourself with a status move, it'll actually lower your stats, which was kind of hilarious. I remember doing that once with like Coil, a move that Snivy can learn, the move that Snivy can learn, and it did the opposite effect. I was like, wait, what just happened? Because I didn't know what the ability did at the time. But regardless of the fact, nothing major with Snivy. I'll go over its evolutions at a later point once the starter that I pick, maybe it's Snivy, maybe it's not, has evolved. So you'll see the second and third evolution forms at a later point for the Snivy line. Next up, Tepig. Now this thing I personally don't like. I don't like the looks of this thing, and it's a little slow for my liking with how my usual playstyle is. And its changes are fairly interesting. Its changes are fairly interesting, or at least for its later evolutions it is. It is. Which I will mention at least. Which actually now reminds me, I should have mentioned this with the Snivy line. Snivy's final form, in fact, all three starters here get a type change during its evolution line. The Snivy line gets one, the Tepig line has one, and the Oshawott line, the third starter, also has a type change. All three starters will have them. I'm not going to go over what they are now. We will go over them when the starter I have evolves. But anyway, back to Tepig. Again, like with its grass type counterpart, if you find it in the wild somehow, there's a chance it'll hold charcoal. And Tepig also has access to has potential chance to get its hidden ability, adaptability, in this game. So that is also very nice. That aside, I don't like Tepig that much. But the one I do like is Oshawott. I love this little thing. I've always liked this thing. It was the starter I picked on my first playthrough through this game. Anyways, that aside, Oshawott itself is a very balanced mon. In fact, it's a very balanced mon like Snivy is. Snivy and Oshawott have pretty balanced stats, so you can run them with a mixed set of physical and special moves if you choose to, whereas Tepig's more focused on attack and health rather than special attacking moves. But again, that's neither competitive is neither here or there for this ROM hack. Oshawott, though, you should mention now. Again, like its other counterparts, if you can find it in the wild, there's a chance it'll be holding a Mystic Water. And Oshawott, just like the other two, gets a chance to have its hidden ability, Vital Spirit, where it can't fall asleep. Also, should have mentioned before, adaptability for Tepig will boost the super effective move, will boost its same type attack bonus moves by 2 instead of by 1.5, which can make things very interesting. But anyways, again, the Oshawott line has a type change in its later evolutions that I will go over once my starter of choice has evolved. Speaking of which, should probably pick my starter now, shouldn't I? I've talked long enough. Who am I gonna go with? Am I gonna go with my favorite starter of Oshawott, the one I hate the most in Tepig, or the mixed choice in Snivy? Decisions. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna pick Oshawott. As much as I like this thing, I wanna try something different. And by trying something different, I may be a goddamn maniac. I'm gonna pick Snivy. Show Snivy. Okay, I'll take this one. And Sharon, that one's yours. Hey, how come you get to pick out my Pokemon? Oh, never mind. I wanted Tepig from the start anyway. So that's it. So everyone has chosen a Pokemon. So that's that. Hey, I know. Let's have a Pokemon battle. Honestly, Bianca, even though they're still weak Pokemon, you shouldn't have Pokemon battles inside a house. Don't be a warrior. These ones are weak, just like you said. We have to let them battle so they'll get stronger. It's settled, James. Get ready for a Pokemon battle. First battle of the entire series. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing an overview of what Bianca has, because you should know what she has by now. Bianca's got Oshawott, Bianca's got Oshawott, and Sharon's got Tepig. All 3 stars are at level 5, so there's no advantage to be gained by anything here. We can go into the stats screen and check our Pokemon. And... Huh. I wasn't going to reset, but I'm glad we got the ability I wanted. We got Contrary. That'll be interesting. It's like the ability Unaware, or the Simple ability. They're interesting abilities, and the AI doesn't fully understand how they work. Anyways, gonna go for the Leer here to start things off. We're gonna go for a Tackle. Alright. Let's start tackling away and see if we can actually win this fight. I'm hoping he does like Tail Whip or something. I'm hoping that Bianca will do like Tail Whip and boost my defense or something. That would be funny. Let's see. Oh boy. Come on, give me strength. Yes! And a point and a crit that actually mattered. Nice. Oh yeah, that's right. One other thing I forgot to mention, all 3 starters got their base experience. All 3 starters got their base experience boosted ever so slightly. So that way, in this case, normally we wouldn't have leveled up. We wouldn't have leveled up. But now we do level up, which is nice. Wow. Jameis, you're gonna be an awesome trainer someday. I can tell. No doubt. Bianca, would you take a look around? Whoa, what happened? Wow. Pokemon are amazing. So little but so strong. I'm glad that I get to have a Pokemon. Oh, sorry about your room. You are completely hopeless. Here, I'll restore your Pokemon for you. Changes Pokemon need to be fixed up too. Hey Charon, how about you battle too? With all you know, I'm sure you can battle without turning the room into a disaster area like I did. I believe you're right. There'll be no problem for me to keep the room from getting any messier. Besides, it's not fair that you two are the only ones who get to have fun battling. It's decided. You'll be my opponent in our first Pokemon battle. Let's see what you can do, Tepig. And Sharon, and we get to fight Sharon immediately after, but we at least get the free heal first. Alright, let's see how this will play out. Well, actually pretty sure I know how this will play out because we have the level advantage. Please do something. However, we still could lose this if he gets a random crit or something. So let's see what happened. We did 5 damage. Interesting. Alright. Well, regardless of that fact, I'm hoping he'll do like Tail Whip or something, because I'm pretty sure he has that move too. Come on, one more hit, and we got him. That's 1 down. And we're level 8, we're level 7 already. And we learned Vine Whip, our first stab move. I made a strange blunder in my first battle, but this feeling I have, I'm finally a trainer. But first, we better go apologize to your mother about this messed up room. Oh, I'd better come too. Yeah, let's see what we got. Sorry about all the trouble, man. Oh, we can clean up. Clean up? No worries, I'll take care of it later. Shouldn't you be on your way to meet Professor Juniper? Yes, thank you. Please excuse us. I'll be waiting in front of the Pokemon Research Lab. Oh, wait, I gotta go home first. Thanks for having us over. Thanks for leaving me high and dry, guys. My Seamus. Pokemon battles are so lively, aren't they? I could hear the Pokemon's cries from down here. I'm sure reminded me of my first Pokemon battle. Oh, and you know, after a battle, you need to rest your Pokemon. Why can I not English today? I don't know. I couldn't talk straight today either for some reason. Anyways, your Pokemon are looking great. And if you're going now, don't forget your bicycle and phone. Yep, we get the bicycle right here and now. We don't have to wait till almost badge 4 to get it this time. You're going to thank the professor too, right? Better get going. So yeah, we have the bike already before we even get the first badge. We don't get the X-Transceiver though, but that item was actually pretty much useless in this game. It was useful for some local multiplayer things, but that was pretty much it. You couldn't do anything with the X-Transceiver. So it's been replaced by the bike for the item that your mom gives you, which is nice. That aside, Bianca. No, and 1,000 times no. But I'm a good trainer who got up on and everything. I could totally go out on an adventure. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. I will be waiting for you in front of the lab, okay? That doesn't seem right. What nonsense is this? How can my daughter, who knows nothing about the world, be going on a journey with Pokemon? Don't mind my husband, dear. He's just being overprotective. All children go out on adventures with Pokemon. Part of growing up. Very different views on how those two feel about this. Let's speed things up by biking over here instead. That's a secret, okay? Seems like she doesn't want to talk about what just happened. Okay, let's go meet the professor. Hi there, I've been waiting for you young people. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Mr. Juniper. We know your name. Come, Sharon. This is not the time to take things lightly. Today's the day to remember always. So it's best to behave with formality. That being so, once again, my name is Professor Juniper, and I am researching when and how creatures called Pokemon came into existence. Actually, Professor Rowan never researched that, given the god of time and space we're in Sinnoh. Weird. Anyways. Oh, that's unusual. You've already had a Pokemon battle. So maybe that's why it feels like your Pokemon have already begun to trust you. By the way, would you like to give your Pokemon a nickname? Sure. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a nickname for this darn Snivy. I have been terrible I only have a nickname for the Samurai for the Oshawott line, so to be honest, I don't know what to really name this thing. Or at least I didn't have a name for this thing. I do actually have one. It fits with its Pokedex entry, but it may not make sense immediately for the ones who don't know Snivy's Pokedex entry. Or the ones of its evolution line. I'm gonna name it Royal. You'll see why later if you don't get it now. Yep, I'm gonna name it that. Royal is such a name. It is. Jeez, I can't English. Royal is its name. That's such a great name. As for why I gave you all the Pokemon, it's for the Pokedex, right? Pokedex. I'm astonished, Sharon. I'm astonished. Nice work, Sharon. You've already studied Pokemon extensively, haven't you? Still, let me explain it. Let me explain everything from the beginning for everyone's sake. And she's just gonna talk about the Pokedex. You know the drill about that. And she wants us to go on an adventure to try and complete the Pokedex. Here's what I need from her. Did I hit B? Oh, I hit B on accident. Whoops. I was mashing B. I mean, yes, Professor. Thank you very much. And all of you, thanks. You have given me the best possible answer. And we get the Pokedex. Next, I need to teach you how to meet Pokemon. Please meet me at Route 1, okay? Well, I don't know where you expected us to go, because we can't go anywhere else. Since the professor asked us, it's okay to go on an adventure, right? I can explore and maybe find out what I want to do in life. I think that I like that. Of course, we can travel however we want while completing the Pokedex. And we can move now. Oh. Hey, wait up! Oh, and there you are. And what did the professor have to say? She asked you to complete the Pokedex? I can't believe it! Well, actually, I can. I already knew what she was going to ask. That's why I brought you three town maps. Take them with you. And we get the town map. As for your room, or what's left of it, no need for any of you to worry. I'll take care of tidying up, okay? Ah, Pokemon. They're so cute, but they have the power to destroy a bedroom. They are really something. Pokemon at your side, you'll be safe wherever you go. I'll let your parents know. I hope that, in addition to Pokemon, you'll find lots of places you like in the Unova region. And become wonderful adults. Have a great trip. If I use the town map, I'll always know where I am. And we need to head over to Route 1. Also, I noticed that Charon can walk faster than Bianca. I don't get that. Anyways, Seamus, it's this way. Bianca says that we're starting our journey together, and for starting a journey together, she wants us all to take our first step at the same time. Let's take our first step onto Route 1 together. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Oh, I wonder what will happen. Isn't this so exciting? Sure it is. Come on, the professor's waiting. Professor Junior, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Now that everyone's here, I'll explain. The Pokedex page updates automatically whenever you meet a Pokemon. Moreover, it's set up so that you obtain even more information when you catch a Pokemon. To make this clear, I'm going to demonstrate how to catch a Pokemon. And she's just gonna show us the catching tutorial, so thanks to the power of emulator, we can speed this up and not have to deal with this. Because you guys know how Pokemon works. You need to lowering the health makes it easier to catch a Pokemon, and if you can put a status effect on it, it'll help even more with catching it. Except with legendaries, because those things suck. Did you see that just now? Here's how it goes, step by step. And she's just gonna tell us in text form if you didn't get it already. And then she'll give us some Pokeballs. Pokeballs are used for catching Pokemon and for carrying Pokemon you catch. I'm going on ahead. I'll be waiting for you in Akuma Town. She forgot to say that Pokemon jump out at you in the tall grass. I'm heading to Akuma Town too. I think I'll go too. Looking forward to the next town so I can go shopping for Pokeballs. Wait a minute! Hey, listen. Where are you, Navi? Sharon, I thought of something fun. We need to get going. I imagine the professor's waiting too. Would you just listen a sec? Seriously. Why don't we see who can catch the most Pokemon? The person carrying the most Pokemon, including the one received from Professor Juniper, is the winner. Huh, that actually sounds interesting. We'll fill up the Pokedex pages. I'm sure it will please the professor too. Okay, until we reach Akuma Town, take care of healing your Pokemon at your own house. Me and Oshawott will do the best for sure. Well, we'll see about that. But we now have the freedom to go catch any Pokemon we want. Forgot that I can't run, but anyways, let's go over the Pokemon. We can start going over the Pokemon for Route 1, which is interesting. So, I should mention now that there are some things will seem a little weird, like with the percentages of Pokemon, but trust me, they'll make sense as we keep progressing through the game. But for now, let's go over Route 1. And I guess we can start things off with the first new Pokemon we can find. A Rattata. Go figure. So, Rattata. Rattata is here on this route, and well, this thing is... it can actually be a little... It can honestly be a little bit of a threat in the early game, at least. There's a good reason for that. This thing, well... This thing's got the ability to Hustle and Guts for its two abilities. Guts works well if you get Stanist, and Hustle makes you miss more, but your attack is boosted as well. So it can be a genuine threat. We're just gonna be catching Pokemon as well while we're on the route and going over the bios for everything, but still, Rattata can be a threat, so don't count this thing out. It can really hurt. It and its evolution Raticate can be pretty decent threats, and Raticate in particular can be a pretty decent threat because it's gotten a slight boost to its HP going from 55 to 60, a boost to 6 points of extra attack, almost 12 more points of extra speed, and in general it's just a lot better of a Pokemon to use. It's still probably not something you should have in the late game, but it can be decent in the mid game regardless. So that is something interesting to note. And I guess while we're continuing on through Route 1, let's keep going over more of the Pokemon you can find here. So, next up, believe it or not, I guess is another Gen 1 favorite, Pidgey. Or I guess I say Gen 1 favorite, but I don't know how everybody feels about Pidgey. This thing kinda has been the forgotten bird of the Pokemon game in the recent years. Mostly for the fact that it sucks in comparison to all the others. I mean, you have things like Staraptor and Talonflame, Corviknight in the most recent games. This thing gets outshone by most of the regional birds. I think the only one that really can compare. Only regional birds that it really compares to, I guess, are maybe Swellow and Noctowl, but even then, those two can outclass Pidgeot. But Pidgey itself is something that could be slightly useful in the early game if you have the right moves, or if you feel like looking around for a while, because there's a chance you can find orange berries on Pidgey when you catch one, or if you have a way to steal held items from a Pokemon this early in the game somehow. So I guess that's something to note. That aside, Pidgey's able to learn a TM62, which we haven't seen yet, so I'm not going over that. It can get Big Pecks and Tangled Feet for its two abilities. And its later evolutions have also gotten some slight changes, with Pidgeotto having a chance of holding citrus berries in the wild, and Pidgeot itself, its final evolution, getting a decent boost to its HP, its attack, its defense, its special defense, and again, it can learn TM62 like its previous evolutions can. Again, we haven't seen TM62 yet, so not going to say what that is. I'm just catching the Pidgey so I can use Fly, but still. I guess if you need a Flyer in the early game, you could do worse. Well, I guess if you need a Flyer, if you pick Oshawott, Pidgey will work for now. But don't get too confident or cozy with the same, because it's not the best mod out there. What is a good mon that's out there though is Starly. One of the other birds that you can find in this area. Starly I love. It's been a fan favorite since it debuted in Gen 4 in the previous games, and it's still one of my favorites even to this day. It's just it's just a good mon. It's just overall a good mon, I feel. Like in the early game it gets wing attack right before it evolves. It gets quick attack as well, so you have a priority move early on. It's just really good at just being there and being something strong that you can use. That aside, I should probably at least go into slightly more detail as to how Pidgey works in the first place. Well, no, not Pidgey, Starly. Jeez, I still cannot English today for some unexplained reason. Starly. Starly now, if I can actually talk like a normal person. Starly gets only Keen Eye for its ability, but there is a catch. Once Starly evolves for the first time into Staravia, it'll either get Intimidate or Reckless for one of its two abilities. Both are good abilities in their own right. Intimidating allowing you to weaken your opponent once you send it out, or Reckless so that way recoil moves don't affect you in the slightest. It's a matter of just hoping you get the one that you want. But both abilities serve their purpose well with Staravia and its final evolution, Staraptor, who, believe it or not, despite being good as it is, Staraptor got even better. A small boost to its HP, defense, give it slightly better tanking abilities in the event of it getting hit by a physical move, or just getting hit by anything in general. It can stay in the fight a little bit longer now. So it's definitely a mon that you can consider using in the later game, especially if you picked Oshawott as your starter. But it can still work on other teams as well, so don't count it out. Next up on the list, I guess we'll be going over this mon now since it showed up for us, which is very nice. We have the one, the only Lillipup. This thing is interesting. I don't have anything against this mon, I just forget that it's there. It's a very solid normal type mon. I'll tell you that right now. It's a solid normal type that has some pretty good moves on its side, and some good abilities as well. I would actually recommend trying to catch a Lillipup at this point, because sometimes Lillipup can have the ability Pickup. Also, there's Contrary kicking in for the first time. But anyway, Lillipups here can have the chance of having Pickup, and as Lillipup levels up, if it has Pickup, you'll have a chance of getting better items like TMs, vitamins, hell, even rare candies and revives, later on as well. Albeit you'll have to level it up past when it evolves, but because Lillipup's later evolutions do not get Pickup, they get different abilities. But still, it could be interesting. Lillipup's evolutions are not bad either. Once Lillipup evolves, if Lillipup evolves while having Vital Spirit, by the way, it'll have Intimidate. If it has Pickup, it'll get Scrappy, which means it can hit Ghost types with stuff that's it's normally immune to. So you can use a normal fighting move, a Lillipup, and it'll hit a Ghost type, which is actually pretty useful. Other thing to note is that Stellan, its final evolution, has gotten a slight buff to its stats as well, with a boost to HP and attack, so it can hit slightly harder and stay in the fight a little longer as well, which is very nice. I'm gonna try catching this Lillipup and hope it's got Pickup just so I can get a few free potions and things like that right now. Because that would be nice for me to have. But we'll see. We'll see what ability it has when I catch it. Which was actually fairly easy, so there you go. Alright. I'm not gonna name this thing. Just gonna put it in the party. Let's see. Let's see, you have pickup. Perfect. I'll take that. That works out well for me. And I will say that the next area, I guess I'm gonna move forward while I'm going over the rest of the bios here, because it's gonna take a little bit of time. So while the gameplay's going on, I'm gonna keep going over the Pokemon that are here in the route. I'm gonna quickly mention now that Bidoof can be found here on this route. Now, before you start going, oh, Bidoof is terrible, this thing sucks. Hold on. Bidoof is not terrible. In fact, Bidoof and its evolution B-Barrel can be pretty useful. For two different reasons. Its abilities. Bidoof can get the ability Simple, which is quite simple in how it works, funnily enough. Simple will double the effects of any stat changing move that gets put on it. So if you get hit by a Leer, your defense goes down by 2 instead of 1. If you use a move like Howl, which boosts your attack by 1, it'll boost it by 2. It applies with every single stat changing move in the game. So keep that in mind. It can get out of hand very fast, but not as out of hand as its Bidoof's other ability, Moody. Moody is a very odd ability. The way it works is this: Moody will raise one stat, but lower another at the end of every turn that the Pokemon is out in a battle. So you could get your speed raised while your defense gets lowered, and then on the next turn it could be defense up and then special defense down. It's completely random every single time. So you don't know what can happen. It's a bit of a toss-up, but it could work to your benefit sometimes. But that aside, if you want the safer option, go with Simple, but if you want to be risky, try Moody and see what happens. It could work to your favor sometimes. Also, B-Barrel, just like pretty much all the other mons on Route 1 here, has a change to its stats, where it's gotten a boost to its attack, it's gotten a boost to its HP, its attack, its special attack, surprisingly, and that's it, actually. But still, it got a boost to its two attacking stats and its health, which is pretty good in my box. The next thing on the list, because we still have even more Pokemon to go over here, surprisingly enough, is Zig Zagoon, basically the Rattata clone from Gen 3. Now this thing can also have pickup. This thing can normally have pickup, and I think it still does have that. I believe it still has that ability, if my notes are correct. Actually, do you? Yeah, you do still have pickup. Okay. For some reason I couldn't find the notes on it. It does still, in fact, have pickup. It can have Gluttony for its other ability, which is not very useful, honestly. But regardless of that fact, it'll keep pickup. It'll keep pickup once it evolves, but if it has Gluttony, it'll get Quick Feed when it evolves into Linoon. The next thing to know with the Zig Zagoon line is that Linoon specifically gets a slight boost to its attack. It gets a boost to its attack, so it can deal a little bit more damage. It can deal a little bit more damage now, which is very nice. That aside, not much else to really mention with this line. It's still a pretty good. It's okay at what it does. But it still can be outclassed by other mons, unfortunately. So use this one at your own discretion. Speaking of use at your own discretion, next up is Sentret. Why is this thing so popular? I will never know. Sentret and its evolution Furret, more specifically, are an interesting pair. They are not very strong, but for some reason they have a cult following for whatever reason. I still don't fully understand why, but Yeah. Yeah, they do. That aside, Sentred gets its abilities of Frisk and Keen Eye, and those abilities don't change when it evolves into Ferret. Bird, however, got a slight boost to its attack, its speed, so it can hit a little bit harder and it's a little faster, but it doesn't really affect much, honestly, in the grand scheme of things. It does get some interesting moves, but again, I honestly would recommend Rattata more than this thing. And that's saying something because it's a freaking Rattata that I'm recommending over a Sentret. That's why you know something's wrong here. But regardless of that fact, it's your choice whether you want to use it or not. The other thing, this is the last mod I need to mention for now on Route 1. There are other mods, but we have no way of getting them right now. The last and final mod, which I believe you can only find at night, is Hoot Hoot. This thing is interesting. It's a special attacker. It's a special wall. I believe it's a special defensive wall. And it's also a decent special attacker. And Drayano did a good job of making it more useful at attacking rather than just taking hits. It got a pretty decent sized boost to its special attack as a Noctowl when it evolves. That aside, not much else to mention with the Hoot Hoot line. Main thing to note is that its two abilities are Insomnia or Tinted Lens. Insomnia is pretty bad, and it's not an ability that really gets used a lot. I mean, yeah, it keeps you from falling asleep, but I don't really see that as much of a use here. Tinted Lens is the more interesting of the two abilities because it'll help you deal slightly more damage against a foe that resists you. So that is very nice and useful to have. But yeah, with that laundry list of Pokemon out of the way, that's everything for Route 1. I should quickly mention before we finish here, before they keep talking here. I should quickly mention that all the Pokemon that I've mentioned before do have some new moves available to them, but those should be shown in the new Pokemon Bio section in the free space on the layout. If they aren't, then I'll put up some annotation. I'll put something on the screen right now. The feature me will put something on the screen right now, or you'll just see it when I'm talking about the Pokemon in general. Anyways, that aside, we've got to get this here, or at least that's what he says his name is. I am here representing Team Plasma. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk to you about Pokemon Liberation. I'm sure most of you believe that we humans and Pokemon are partners. That we have come to live together because we want and need each other. Or is that really the truth? Have you considered that perhaps we humans only assume that this is the truth? Pokemon are subject to selfish commands of trainers. They get pushed around while they are our partners at work. Can anyone say with confidence that there's no truth in what I'm saying? Now, ladies and gentlemen, Pokemon are different from humans. They are living beings that contain unknown potential. They are living beings from which we humans have much to learn. Tell me, what is our responsibility towards these wonderful beings called Pokemon? That's right, we must liberate the Pokemon. Then, and only then, will humans and Pokemon truly be equals. Everyone, I end my words here today by imploring you to consider the relationship between people and Pokemon, and the correct way to proceed. We sincerely appreciate your attention. About that speech, what do you think we should do? Liberate Pokemon? That's not even possible. Your Pokemon. Just now I was saying. Slow down, you talk too fast. And what's this about Pokemon talking? That's an odd thing to say. Yes, they're talking. Oh, you two can't hear it either. How sad. My name is N. My name is Charon, and this is Seamus. We were asked to complete the Pokédex, and we just left on our journey. My main goal is to become the champion, though. Pokédex, eh? So, you're going to confine many Pokemon to Pokeballs for that, then. I'm a trainer too, but I can't help but wondering, are Pokemon really happy that way? Well, Seamus, is it? Let me hear your Pokemon voice again. And we get thrust into a battle with N. The first real trainer battle that we actually have here. This is a bit of an interesting case. So, N's gonna have 3 Pokemon here. And well, it's an interesting case. It's an interesting dilemma here of what we have to deal with. N's only going to have Pokemon of the route you were previously on. So by that aspect I mean that N's going to have like whatever Pokemon you can find. So he'll have stuff like a rat, so in this case he'll have stuff that normally you would find there. However, in this case that's not the case. He's got an Incada here. Unfortunately, the notes I have right now with me don't tell me his full team right off the bat, but in a sense that's better than... Oh jeez, you have that move. Okay. I didn't know he had Bite. That's not cool. Have Gust. I guess I could try that. Alright. Going for Bug Bite again. Alright, let's use Gust. Okay, that's not good. Alright, use Gust again. There we go. Somehow we got away with that. Now it grows to level 8, which is nice. Mankey. Alright, well... let's go for Gust. Oh, that didn't work. Royale? Let's go for Vine Whip, come on. Come on. That's not doing a lot of damage. Vine Whip again. Alright, we need to scratch one more time and... Alright, Rattata, I guess. I should have healed before this fight, but I honestly... Actually, wait, no, I was healed for this fight. Never mind. I just got unlucky because you did Bug Bite. Whatever. Rattata, take it out. Can't believe I'm using a Rattata in a fight. Alright. And... Purloin is his final mon. Tail Whip? We're going for Assist. Alright. Really? Alright, Tail Whip again. Come on, trying to lower its defense enough so that way I can just go for quick attack like twice. Oh boy. Okay, let's go for quick attack. Come on. Do it. Yes! That was actually a close fight because I wasn't expecting Bug Bite on that Ninkata. Focus energy, sure, why not? Do that. Alright. As long as Pokemon are combined in Pokeballs, Pokemon will never become perfect beings. I have to change the world for Pokemon, because they're my friends. Huh. Strange guy. I'm not gonna worry about it. Trainers and Pokemon have to help each other out. Listen, I'm going on ahead. I'm gonna battle the gym leader in the next town, Strides City. Aim to battle the gym leader. Aim to battle gym leader through gym leader. That's the best way for a trainer to become stronger to challenge the gym leaders in each area. Well, after that, and a fight that was way closer than it should have been, we're all set here. We've got a bit of editing, quite a bit of editing I need to do later, but with that all said and done, I will catch you guys in the next episode where we're gonna head on to Route 2 and beyond Accumula Town to see what else is available in this game. I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye.